Thanks. Cool.
That's
It's
great.
so good to hook up with you. Thank you for taking a minute out.
Oh, thank you for this chance. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So, I really dug the show the other night. To give everybody context,
Mm-hmm.
the KC Jazz Ambassadors, uh, they put on the Jazz Futures program, which is at the Voo Lounge downtown,
Yeah.
and all you cats were there swinging, doing all kinds of different cuts, cutting your teeth, wood shedding in front of people. There was media there. It was a big deal. It was fun, man. How did it feel?
Yeah. It felt so at first it felt a bit overwhelming. It's a different nation, it's a different system, it's a different kind of music than what I'm used to in Italy. But after that first impression, I was like, man, you gotta have fun. And so yeah, I tried my best to have fun, and that's what happened.
So let's get to why this was not a familiar music for you. And I want to go back and start at the beginnings. You're Italian born, you're here in the States, you're in Ottawa at Ottawa University studying music. So let's go back to your beginnings. Tell me about where you were born and raised in Italy and how the seeds of music started becoming your life.
Oh, that's a really great question. Thank you. So I was born in the south part of Italy, the southern part of Italy. So Avellino, which is on the border with Puglia and Basilicata. So in the mountainside of the Campania region, where Naples is, world famous Naples. So yeah, it was the kind of postcard that everybody expects from Italy. So sea, sun,
Yeah.
great food and things like that. But in Italy, let's say that the American music or jazz in general or blues is not very popular. It's a thing that, just a small group of people like to hear. It's not very mainstream.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have a different heritage, musically speaking. Like I have my folk music that I think it really helped me. I think it really helped me. And after that, thanks to my father, I discovered rock music and I started to understand that in America something was going on, something interesting was going on. And after that, I discovered jazz out of the blue. Like I was just playing with my friend something, and at a certain point we just switch on the TV and we see Charlie Parker for the first time. And I was like, man, what is that? And so yeah, my journey started and I started to take interest in this kind of music and to try and study it because jazz just in the last years has become a thing in Italy. So when I was a little kid, when I was like 15, we had no real jazz book or jazz school. So it was pretty much on our own.
Yeah.
So it has been a great journey, like, just trying to hear what the goats like Hank Mobley or Adderley were doing and trying to do that on the guitar.
Yeah.
And so it has been a great journey and a journey that, thanks to which I'm here in Ottawa. So it was a great and a right journey, I would say.
So why the guitar? Why you could have picked any instrument, but what was it about the guitar?
Because I liked AC/DC. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I started playing piano at the age of 4, and but I felt that I needed something more, something different. I understand since moment zero that music was a lot of my life, but it was just not the piano. But and I was searching for other ways of expressing myself. So one day we were very little. I was with this friend of mine and his mother calls, and Back in Black by the AC/DC was his ringtone. And I was like, what is that? What is that? I want to know everything there is to know about that. And so my journey started. And yeah, it was great. So think that up to the age of 10, I would just hear classical music stop,
Yeah.
like just that. So at the age of 11, I discovered that there was tons of music, tons of different music, tons of different musical kinds and genres, and you can actually use distortion. So, so it was great. I remember like I was so fascinated about that that other side of the world.
What was the first live show that you saw, the first concert where you were like, I want to be up there one day. That's what I want to
Oh,
do.
I was 14 years old, and I remember it was featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators in Rome.
Wow,
And it was great because it was like so he was starting touring again after several years of absence, and he was just trying to do these shows where he played the blues classics, but in a very fierce and rock way. So I was like, okay, that's it. That's
that's
it. I'm
cool.
gonna I'm gonna be there someday. That's it.
Yeah. So, what has the dream always been for you to be a musician, or was there anything else that you were thinking about doing with your life?
Really, I think I'm blessed with this clear idea. Since the age of 4, I always knew that I didn't know how to play, but I tried to, make sounds in the house, and I would break things just to hear what they sounded like. So, you know, so yeah. So I remember I would like use the forks as drums on
Yeah.
the table, so all my table is scratched, and my mother is not very happy with that. But I always looked for sound, even from the early stages
Yeah.
of my life here. So yeah, I think I always knew what I wanted. So it was just I needed to find the right path because I have very clear ideas, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. Because when you have you say, this is my path, and I don't want to hear anything else. I don't want to do anything else. So, in these years, I just worked as a touring musician in Italy, and I also worked different jobs, just just waiting and working for the right moment. So this moment here. So now I'm 25 and I'm very happy with the path I've started. Maybe it's a little late, some would say, but it's my path.
Yeah.
So and it's what I want, 100%. So
So I got to know, this is kind of a two-part question.
mhm.
Was there always a dream to come to America, and how did that finally happen?
So yeah, there absolutely. America was the dream. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie about that. I always dreamed about because all the music, like 90% of the music I hear is from America.
Yeah.
Then I discovered British music, but it was later. So like yeah, like my first inspiration was Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
So America, like the black culture is what I always longed for, and how America happened. That's a good story. Like I remember, I wanted to at a certain point of my life. I just wanted to be a touring musician. I was like, I don't I don't want to study anymore. I don't need to study like because when you wanna choose your own path in certain places of Europe, it can be really tough because people always tell you what to do and how to do it. So I was like, okay, that's it. You win. I'm gonna just be a touring musician and that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
So I started posting videos on social medias and of me playing around Italy and stuff. And so I remember one night I couldn't sleep. It was 4 a.m. in the morning, and I just checked my email. I was just checking my email, and then I got this email from Ottawa University. I was like, "Hello, how you doing? We saw you online. Do you want to have a talk?" At first, I thought it was a scam mail.
Yeah.
I'm
Of
not.
course.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "Yeah, now he's gonna ask me money for his dead grandma or something like
Yep.
that."
Absolutely.
But then we had that conversation. I was like, listen, if you want me to take you seriously, I have to see you. Let's have a video chat or something, a video call or something. And so we had this video call, and they were pretty serious about it. And that's then we auditioned. That's where I met Dan Thomas for the
Okay.
first time,
Okay.
and he was very clear about the things that I could do here and the opportunities for me. And so I was like, let's do it. Okay, so in 6 months from I'm not studying again. I will never go to America. In 6 months, I was like, okay, I need to buy a ticket. I need to apply for a visa. I'm going to America.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
So, what was the first live jazz show you saw? So, Charlie Parker blew you away, as he always does. Anytime anybody listens to Charlie for the first time, you're like, what's going on here? But
Yeah, is he human?
yeah, yeah, right. Did he fall out of a spaceship? So,
Yeah.
so what was the first live jazz show that you saw, or what was the moment when you got here to America and discovered jazz that you were like, wow, this is it?
Okay, so the first jazz show that I saw in my life, it was obviously in Italy, and it was Guthrie Govan,
Okay.
and it was he's an alien,
Yeah.
isn't it? Oh, it is like, oh my God. Then I was so fascinated. I couldn't talk for like 2 hours after the show. I was like, he's not human. I also got to go on with the aristocrats. So, just in his prime. He was so like, so the thing that I always wanted in my study and in my playing is kind of what Govan does. So like he creates chaos but with an order.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's great. And in America here, I still didn't have the chance to see a proper jazz concert. I just saw a concert at the KC Rep about Billie Holiday
Oh
in the
yeah.
theater, and
Yeah.
that was great. And that was great. That was great. So I don't know if that qualifies for
Yeah.
as a jazz concert, but
Yeah. 100% it does. So what kind of culture shock was it to come from Italy to America and to just have a whole new environment to be in?
oh wow, supermarkets are the first. And jokes apart, like everything is a little bit faster,
Yeah.
but it's not so it can be overwhelming for like the first 5 minutes. But then, I just remember, man, you're here for the music and you always run your whole life, try to chase that. And now you're going at the same pace. So I think that's the most, I don't know, overwhelming thing. Like everybody here just work, 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 and run, 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 and
Yeah.
you know, which is kind of I can dig that. In Italy, it's more slow mo, you know, which some people like it, but I really escape from that.
Yeah.
I don't like to slow mo and take it easy, and oh absolutely not. I wanna run. I wanna feel the urge, the urgency of doing stuff.
And you're in the right place. I remember when I was in high school, I had a pen pal, and she lived in Castelfiorentino, which is south of Florence.
Oh
And
yeah.
I ended up going to Italy for the first time, and they owned a big pizzeria and a restaurant, and I'm sitting there eating food, and I didn't realize all the courses. I mean, a meal in Italy is a religion. It's a different thing. Things happen differently in Italy, which I love. But I'm sitting there and I'm eating my pasta with the fork. No
Uh-huh.
spoon, not the way I'm supposed to do it. And the old man is his the father is across the table from me, and he just throws his silverware down. Aspette! And he comes over, he grabs my hands, and he's like twisted. And then he said, "Slow down." Like whole thing was slow down, and that's all I got the whole time, and I totally got it. Like how you separate each meal and how you take your time, how
Yeah.
you enjoy company. But it was one of those things, like you said, with America, we're so used to going so fast that I
Yeah.
had to recalibrate. But anyways, it was great. I learned the cuisine order of things.
Yeah, you know what? Food is part of the culture. So food is not just nutrition in Italy,
Yeah,
because it's from a person, for a person who's not Italian, it's a bit difficult to understand.
yeah,
But food is everything but nutrition. Is nutrition as well, yeah. But is a ritual of being with your family, is taking time for yourself, is enjoying the time you're sharing. And my grandma always said, food is not food if it's not shared.
wow.
So you see, that's the old perspective about meals in Italy. And you don't have to rush while you eat, and you don't get up unless everyone is finished. So it's a ritual. It's a
Yeah.
ritual. Um, but yeah, it's a part of my culture I really like, the
Yeah.
sense of community.
Yeah.
Here it's a bit different. Here
Yeah.
everybody like minds a little more is business, something like that. But yeah, in Italy you have a deep sense of community. Like first days I got here, in Italy when we walk, we see somebody in our opposite direction, we say hi, good morning. It's
Yeah.
even if you don't know the guy,
Sure.
you just do that. So I remember first days I was here, I was just walking, I was like, hey, good morning, hi. And everybody was looking at me like, what's your problem, bro?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and the Midwest tends to be more friendly than other parts, but yeah, no, I totally get that. So I want to go back to Dan Thomas. Dan Thomas has been such a pillar of jazz strength in the Kansas City community for so long. Talk to
Yeah.
me about the influence of Dan and what you've learned from him.
Well, um, Dan Thomas can be a great friend at the same time a tough teacher. That's why I really like him. And to just express what Dan Thomas is all about, I always use his quote, and it's like the opposite of joy is not depression, it's expression. And that's where music happens.
Yeah, that's
I think
great.
that I think that pretty much describes him.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
yeah, and and when you hear something like that, and when you can express yourself 100%, even on, tracks that are considered sacred in the jazz history, and it's like, I don't care, you just express yourself. So I think it's great. I think, yeah, it's a huge drive for me as a person, me as a musician, and for my creativity.
So even though you're in Ottawa, Kansas, you're still in the Kansas City bubble.
Yeah,
And I'm curious, how have you processed the fact that Kansas City is one of the original places of jazz? Pat Metheny, Charlie Parker, Bobby Watson, who was with Dan for a long time.
yeah.
There's a lot of history here. What does that mean for you to be in this area that has so much jazz history?
Well, it's humbling, that's for sure. And that's the thing I like it. That's the thing I like the most, in the sense that with a place that has so many talents, history is so rich. That's great because I could never become arrogant.
Yeah.
So it's humbling in this sense, and yeah, there's a great vibe actually, and yeah, you can breathe. Like first thing I told my family about this place is that here you can breathe music, you can hear the smell of music.
So talk to me a little bit about what you like the best about being a part of the scene. From Dan to the cats that you were playing with in Jazz Futures to being at Ottawa, this entire music vibe that you have. What is it that you like the best about it?
I think the sense of community. Maybe it's because I'm Italian, but but yeah, there is a deep sense of community and respect, and they're always eager to show you stuff about what they did. There is no secret. There is just this big friendship. We're like, who makes music is a brother. So we all. I feel like I'm brother to I'm a brother to all the people who play this genre, because they're just so helpful and so eager. If you ask a question, you're gonna have an hour long conversation with somebody, even if you don't know.
Yeah.
So I remember we went like in the first 3 weeks I was here. We went to the Phoenix in KC with my housemates. So my first night out in KC, I was so thrilled, and they were just jamming. It was a great evening, and I was outside, and I saw the drummer that was just jamming, and I was like, dude, you're crazy. So much. I appreciate you. You're great. I love your sound. I love your groove. And we started this conversation for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes about, his technique, who inspired him. So it's great. This thing in Europe doesn't happen that much. So we may be more friendly on, the society side, but when it comes to music, everybody has secrets that doesn't want to share.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that was the precursor to us having this interview is that during a break, I really felt impelled out of everybody to talk to you. There was something that was different about what you were doing. And jazz guitar is a little bit kind of a specialty. It's not something you regularly see in all kinds of different settings. You'll always have a rhythm section. There's always some kind of horn, that kind of thing. But when you get a guitar or the vibraphone or a flute, it's a little bit kind of on the fringe, but it really ties it together in a very good way. So
Yeah.
we
You know what I
talked.
like to say?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, jazz guitar is the lover that destroys the marriage.
yeah. I love it, man. It's just like with Dan's quote. It's great. It just kind of ties everything together. But when we were talking, I was kind of trying to get a gauge of where you were at, and you exude an energy of learning and movement. And you said that you want to move on after you're done here. And that's
Yeah.
awesome. And I remember thinking that's the way to do it. So talk to me a little bit about what your future looks like. If we talk in 10 years from now, what do you want to tell me happened?
Hmm. Oh wow, 10 years from now. First thing, I hope I'm alive. That's
Right.
that's
That
the
would be a
first
good thing.
thing. I'm gonna start is. After that, I don't know. So, I have a lot of things in my mind this moment. So the first thing I want to do is learning. So, learning is like the most important thing at the moment. I want to learn all the things I can. And after that, I may be on a crossroad. And on the left side, I hope to be a great gigger, a great, touring musician. On the right side, I would like to start a band, always my dream, and just be a singer songwriter and try to express my feelings, not just on an instrument but even the lyrics. So I have to figure this thing out because I'm in love with both of the side of music. So I'm in love with the sound of quest to reproduce music and to play music, but I'm also deeply in love with the lyrical side and the write your own things side. Try to build a safe space for people through your music, through your lyrics, through your songs. I think it's special. So I'm really evaluating two options right now
So, at the end of the day, why do you love jazz?
because it's freedom. It's the synonym of freedom. Like you won't find another kind of music that tells you I don't care about theory. I don't care about everything that happened, that's gonna happen. You do you.
Yeah.
It's all about expression. It's all about be yourself. It's all about being yourself. It's all about if this is your vision, you must do that. So that's it. I feel free.
Yeah.
I feel free. Like, yeah, like when I'm playing, I feel like I'm no longer there. And that's a great feeling. Like you're just part of something. You're just an instrument. So your instrument becomes you and your hands are the instrument. So it's kind of a strange thing to say, but yeah, that's how I feel most of the times. Like I am the guitar, my hands are the instrument, not the opposite.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, everyone you go to school with, everyone that sees you perform, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Oh my God. Who am I? That's a great question. Maybe the most difficult question in the world for me now.
Yeah.
Who am I? I don't know. I'm just an ambitious guy who never forgets how to be kind to people. I think kindness is the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
So, kindness is like a sport. You have to practice it.
Yeah.
Otherwise you lose it. And I try to do that every day with all kinds of people and in all kinds of situations. So I don't know. Uh, I see myself as a kind, ambitious guy.
I dig it. No, you nailed it. Absolutely. So, hey, if anyone wants to catch you live, anything coming up on your radar, anything happening, or they want to learn more about you, where can people go?
So, at the moment I have nothing planned. I think something will happen in November, but it's not official. And if people wants to have a look at me, I have my Instagram page and it's engage, ETSENGAGE.
Okay.
underscore at the end of it. It's engage on Instagram.
Okay.
And I post a lot of things. I always, I post myself playing, studying, playing piano or the concert. So I try to use social medias in the good way, not the bad way. There's like a place where people can just express themselves and share information with me. And yeah,
Right on, man. This has been great. Thank you so much for your story. Thank you for your time.
thank you for this opportunity. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Good luck
Bye.
with everything.